Hey everyone, Dennis here, and today we're diving into a topic that's been on my mind lately. Do you really need a beastly CPU for gaming anymore? The answer might surprise you. For the longest time, we've been told that a top-of-the-line processor is crucial for a smooth gaming experience, but that's not necessarily true anymore. The truth is, modern games are becoming increasingly reliant on graphical horsepower. That's right, it's all about those juicy GPUs now. While your CPU still plays a role, it's not the be-all and end-all it used to be. So think you need to drop a small fortune on the latest and greatest CPU just to get decent frame rates? Think again. In this video, we'll break down why spending big on a high-end CPU might not be the smartest move for most gamers. Okay, let's talk bottlenecks. Imagine your computer is like a high-performance race car, right? Your CPU is the engine, and your GPU is the transmission. Now, a super powerful engine might sound impressive on paper, but if your transmission can't keep up, you're not going to reach top speed. That's what's happening in a lot of modern games. The sheer amount of graphical detail, textures, and effects being thrown around means your GPU is often working its little silicon heart out, while your CPU is sitting there twiddling its thumbs, with plenty of power to spare. Think about it. When was the last time you saw your CPU usage maxed out while gaming? Probably not very often, unless you're running some crazy simulations on the side. Meanwhile, your GPU is sweating, trying to render all those beautiful pixels. So before you go out and buy the most expensive CPU you can find, remember the bottleneck. Upgrading your GPU will often give you a much bigger performance boost in modern games, especially at higher resolutions. Now, I'm not saying you should buy the cheapest CPU you can find and call it a day, but there's a point where spending more on a CPU gives you such small performance gains in games that it's practically pointless. Think of it like this. Going from a budget CPU to a mid-range one, you might see a significant jump in frame rates, but going from that mid-range chip to a top-of-the-line processor, you might only squeeze out a few extra frames per second, if that. It's the law of diminishing returns, my friends. At a certain point, you're paying a premium for those last few percentage points of performance, and for most gamers, it's just not worth it. Especially when you consider that money could be better spent elsewhere, but we'll get to that in a bit. Here's another thing to consider. Game optimization. Game developers are smart. They know that not everyone is rocking a NASA-grade supercomputer. They want their games to run on as many systems as possible, which means optimizing for the most common hardware configurations. And guess what? The vast majority of gamers are running mid-range CPUs, not those crazy expensive ones. So, while a game might technically be able to utilize the extra cores and threads of a high-end CPU, it's often not going to make a huge difference in practice. Of course, there are always exceptions. Some CPU-intensive games, like strategy games with massive maps or simulations with complex physics, might benefit from a more powerful processor. But for your average AAA title or esports game, mid-range is often the sweet spot. So, if you're not throwing down your hard-earned cash on a top-tier CPU, where should you be spending it? Well, remember that GPU bottleneck we talked about? Yeah, that's a good place to start. Upgrading to a more powerful graphics card will almost always give you the biggest performance boost in games, especially at higher resolutions and with all the fancy graphical settings cranked up. And hey, while you're at it, why not think about upgrading that SSD? Loading times can be a real drag, and a fast SSD can make a world of difference in how quickly your games load and how smooth your overall system feels. Or if you really want to treat yourself, consider a high refresh rate monitor. Trust me, once you've experienced the buttery smoothness of 144 Hz or higher, you'll never want to go back. So, there you have it. The truth is, you don't need to break the bank on a high-end CPU to have an amazing gaming experience. By understanding how different components work together and spending your money wisely, you can build a system that delivers top-notch performance without emptying your wallet. Remember, it's all about finding that sweet spot between performance and price. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need the absolute best of the best to enjoy the latest games. Save your cash, upgrade smart, and game harder. Until next time.